What's up, and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 252. We really got to start coming up with a plan. How many times did we used to say this? We really got to start coming up with a plan for what to talk about. Normally I have ideas. Today I've got nothing. My brain is empty right now.
It's been a very non-exciting week, let's just say.
Right? Like, I've got a single YouTube video idea that's not really an idea, and talking about it now would ruin the YouTube video. Maybe not. I guess the video will come out before this. But, like, apparently Activision's shitty again. They have to rehire all the voice actors for all of their characters because... so, for those of you who don't know, there's another SAG-AFTRA strike, but it's the like, voice actors. Because they have different contracts than regular actors. And all of Call of Duty's voice actors are part of SAG-AFTRA right now. And I don't know, all of these companies refuse to just give AI protection. So basically, what Activision wants to do is have Nolan North record for Richtofen a few more times and then never pay him to record again, while they still use his voice to voice Richtofen by having AI do it. And, like, no, that's not how this works. Yeah, welcome to capitalism. Companies want to take advantage of people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can we stop pretending for one day? I'm not getting actually political here. Can we stop pretending capitalism is perfect and has no flaws? It has more flaws. It's only good for, like, 0.00001% of people. Everybody else it's awful for. Like, let's be actually honest.
Like, everything has its flaws. That's why it's best to kind of have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and right now, we are not doing what's best. Because this whole AI scenario, this is one of the situations where, like, governments should step in and be like, no, you can't use an AI to do what a human should do. Because I totally understand. You want to have AI running math equations constantly. Fine, humans can't do that all day. You want to have an AI, like, always running certain things? Fine. You want to have AI do something you would have never paid a human to do? Fine. But AI graphic designers? No, dude. Just pay a person. Oh, AI voice actors? No, dude. Just pay a person. Right. Stop it. This is awful. But apparently we're never going to figure that out. Also, it fucks me up because AI is currently not cheaper than hiring people. The amount of money it costs to run any of these, like, LLMs is insane. You're, like, actually not saving money. It's ridiculous.
That's wild.
AI is going to be the destruction of our electrical grid. You've heard it here first.
Probably.
Because, you know, our grid needed updated in, what, 1987?
Right.
It is not built for what we putting it through right now. It is not. I did not hit her. I did not. I don't know if anybody's getting that reference, but it's fine. God damn it. Wonder entertain the masses. The dog is barking. Entertain the masses. You've got this.
He barks all the time. It doesn't matter. He's definitely not barking at somebody breaking into the house that I hired. Anyway, I am trying to find something on the internet and I cannot find it, and I am getting annoyed. Problem is, I could just ask, but then it kind of spoils everything for me. Just ruins it all. Why does everything have to be so complicating? Why do I have to be so dumb? Ooh, something Disney popped up. Are you ready for some football? Absolutely not. Oh my god. Quit popping up with shit.
All right.
Thank you.
How entertaining was he?
I wasn't.
What were you talking about?
I complained.
About?
That's all I did. Random shit that don't matter.
I mean, I can just go back and listen later, or you can tell me and we can have a
I know.
conversation, you fuck.
And
We're
when you
trying
go
to have
back,
conversations.
and when you go back to listen later, you'll realize it was random and useless for the channel. I definitely wasn't talking about somebody I hired to come break into your house.
Oh, damn.
uh,
Oh, God. There's no way those two deserve. I don't think there should be 4 Heisman finalists ever.
really?
Well, especially this year. I'm sorry. Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, you don't need to show up. We all know Travis Hunter or Ashton Genty's winning. Why are there 4 finalists when we all know only 2 guys deserve it?
Right.
Like, cool, you got listed as a finalist, but you didn't earn it. Somebody had to be listed. Sorry. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I do need to. I really got to plan. I got to decide if I'm doing a Project Hope stream or not, and I need to plan it. I'm reading currently Dr. Lupo's plan for his Build Against Cancer stream this year. Those are always awesome. Lupo's great.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, dude. All I really have in my brain right now is football, and I don't want to talk about football.
Right. I get it. I definitely don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, fuck your team in particular, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
All of them useless pieces of shite. All of them.
See, they only lose because you were hoping they'd win.
Oh, you know what we can talk about? So you heard about the guy. A lot of guys. The assassin.
Oh.
Of the
for the CEO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this and people are gonna get offended, but I don't care because if you're offended by this, you're an idiot. I'm glad this is starting.
I guarantee you.
I'm glad this is starting.
A lot of people aren't going to be offended by this.
They are. And it's the people that you don't think would be the ones that are super offended that super are. Well, he's got a family. Yeah, he doesn't fucking care that you had a family when he denies your medical claims. Fuck you. I don't give a shit that he had a family. I don't care that he had a wife. I don't care that he had people who cared about him. I don't. Right. I you know what I do care about? Blue Cross Blue Shield of like New York, Connecticut, and somewhere else East Coast. I think it was those 2. I could be wrong. It was 3 East Coast states, and it was a Blue Cross Blue Shield thing. I'm not going to try to name a specific person because I actually don't know, and I'm not looking this up. But they wanted to do a thing where one of the other major insurance companies wanted to do this, where they wanted to not, or to like only give anesthetics to people for the time their surgery is supposed to take. So if you're in surgery and it's supposed to be a 2-hour surgery, you get enough anesthesia for that. But if the surgery goes over, you don't get any more.
Yep.
They just have to get, it's like, that's not safe for anybody.
And the problem is, who the fuck is dictating what the proper time for the surgery is?
Right.
Because even the person that's going to do the surgery is like, it could take 2 to 6 hours depending on how it goes, depending on if things go well and if things cooperate, if we don't have any problems. You know, it could take 2 to 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
The problem was these health insurance experts, you know, don't know anything about surgery or anything like that other than how to cover them or what they have to pay for them. That's about the extent that they know. These are the people that are dictating when the cutoff time happens. Oh, it should only take this long.
Yeah.
How do you fucking know?
Because they work for health insurance. They obviously, well, I mean, that's been the thing with health insurance forever is these insurance companies get to tell us how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you might have cancer, but the treatment's not medically necessary. You'll be fine. Just die. This has been the thing insurance companies do forever.
Right.
I did see one of the people I saw complaining. She's not, at least from what I can tell, one of these type of rich people. She just is super rich. You can tell because she's wearing like a $1 million ring and like $50,000 earrings in this video. And she's like,
right.
Can somebody explain this to me? Like, when did we stop being human? No. You're just up there. You forgot about the rest of us down here, man. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, it gets scary when they, you know, one of your own gets shot, you know, when you're used to being on your high horse and now all of a sudden it's like, oh,
yeah,
shit, we aren't indestructible. No matter how much money we have, we could still get, you know, we could still cross the wrong person.
Oh my God. So I saw this one guy, my favorite type of human, the do your own research humans, the ones who have never done any research and are the dumbest person you've ever talked to every fucking time. I'm sorry, I've never met a person who tells me to do my own research that has ever done their own research or knows anything they're talking about. I don't know why that's a crowd that exists, being able to tell people, well, do your research, but they've never.
Right.
So he's talking about people celebrating this man's murder, but he finds it very suspicious that this man was going to testify against insider trading in Congress. No, actually, he was being looked into for insider trading. I think you just saw keywords and made your own sentence. It's like that American Dad episode where they show up to that banquet in blackface and he's like, what? I skimmed it for keywords. They were black and face. And the actual quote was like, black people changing the face of America. And it's awful, but it's like, that is what these people do. They skim it for keywords, make their own sentence, and think they know what they're talking about.
Well, some of them, I swear to God, they know they're spewing bullshit, but because, you know, it's causing, you know, discontent and confusion and mass panic, and that's what they want because it brings more attention to their platform.
But yeah, he was facing a DOJ investigation and lawsuit when he was executed. So actually, it's the exact opposite thing. So no, he wasn't taken out by the government. Can we also, my biggest thing with this one is, can we stop pretending so two things have happened. First, why are all these news organizations pretending we don't know what the motive is? Now, we don't know it verbatim, but we do know what the motive is. This dude had a child, a wife, a brother, a sister, a mother, a grandparent whose claim was denied through insurance. They died, and now he's handling it. I mean, shit. You can tell what the motive is because of what he wrote on the bullet casings. You don't etch words into bullet casings that aren't important to the motive of the crime. And it was just the deny, depose, whatever the other one was. That is just the 3 Ds that we correspond with insurance companies. Like, he told you what the motive was. We don't know verbatim. Like, it could have been his wife, could have been his mom. I don't know. Could have just been his best friend. Doesn't fucking matter, actually. We know what the motive is. We don't know it super specifically, but we know exactly what it is.
Maybe it's himself.
Could be. But also today, apparently. So we have 2 total pictures of this man. And in the pictures where they claim it's the same guy, it's entirely different outfits and entirely different people, but they're claiming it's the same guy. And the description of him that we have is an average-sized white male with dark hair. That's the description. That's the manhunt that's going on, is for an average-sized white male with dark hair. A man was arrested today in Pennsylvania because he matched the description. No, Well, every white dude does, basically. Also,
You know what his name was?
what?
His name's Luigi.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, I see.
I'm not shitting you. His name is actually Luigi, the guy that they arrested. I'm almost positive this is not the guy. There is no way.
But okay. I just now saw that, but okay. So the other things that we now know about, so he apparently had a handwritten manifesto just casually on him, as well as still in his possession at the time of being arrested, the gun and the silencer. You're telling me this man was smart enough to evade all of the police, leave no evidence of him anywhere around the crime, was smart enough to get away, wrote his manifesto on the fucking bullets, well, the shell casings, but same fucking thing. In this context, same fucking thing.
Right.
You're telling me he just conveniently still had a handwritten manifesto, and conveniently, the dude who appears to be smart enough to get away with this, you know, the guy you were claiming was a professional hitman, kept the gun and silencer on him, the exact one. Kept that as a memento instead of, I don't know, swinging through Chinatown and buying a New York Statue of Liberty paperweight like the rest of us fucking hillbillies. Yeah, he kept the gun. No, he didn't. He ditched the gun a long time ago because he was smart, right. Just like with the backpack, because you found his backpack and you thought, oh, there's going to be a clue here. And there was just a bunch of fucking Monopoly money. The real guy's been toying with you. You're just trying to pretend this poor Luigi guy is the problem. And that's fucked up. Poor Luigi guy.
Right. Yeah, none of it makes sense. He's just the fall guy, is what it is, to make it seem like
we found out why it is him. It is just going to be a fall guy thing. He's an anti-capitalist 26-year-old who has shared quotes online from Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. His whole thing is apparently he's been an activist his entire life, so they're just like, pin it here. Yeah. These were the exact quotes he shared, by the way. Imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy, then gives them drugs to take away their unhappiness. Then science fiction. It is already happening to some extent in our own society. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way as to enable him to tolerate social conditions that he would otherwise find intolerable. I'm sorry, none of those sound like... Okay, there's a lot of Ted Kaczynski quotes that you go, oh, this dude's insane. Those just...
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't think those point to anything at all, but they can pretend to.
Right. I mean, they still have to prove.
Oh, I know, but they can make it up.
Well, and I hate the internet because they're like, they got him.
But it also won't matter.
And then
even if it is him, I don't think you can find a jury of his peers that will actually vote guilty.
Well, that's the thing. It's got to be. There's a cool thing called beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, no, if the guy walked in there and admitted to killing him.
Oh, that might.
I don't think a jury of his peers would say guilty, because while yes, they will all believe he killed him, they will not think he was in the wrong. It is a thing that exists.
Right.
Yeah. So it's straight up called jury nullification. It's a jury's knowing and deliberate rejection of evidence or refusal to apply the law, either because they want to send a message about some social issue that is larger than the case itself, or because the result dictated by the law is contrary to the jury's sense of justice, morality, or some other quote, because the quote cuts off. I'm sorry. I don't think there is a jury you could assemble in this country of people who are truly his peers that would vote guilty. Right. I don't think you could do it.
And that's where this is the part of our justice system that I actually do like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The jury of my peers.
It makes sense. That part makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's all these other bullshit things that they throw in there that don't need to exist.
Right.
That kind of just flaws it. That, you know, the stuff that they can use to weaponize and
and the amount of stuff that somehow now don't need a jury. You can just.
That's the thing. That's what I was getting to. They've implemented stuff to where, you know, oh, we're going to charge you with this. Us, the federal government, is going to charge you with this, but we're going to supersede a jury because it falls under this specific category of the law.
That's like an entire thing for like most drug related crimes. And I stand by actual drug dealers bad, actual lots of things bad. But the random guy who got busted with a couple joints in his pocket, I don't think a real jury is sentencing any of you to prison.
Right.
That's just not how this goes. Because you can believe with your whole chest that drugs are bad, but also realize that guy's not the problem here.
Yeah.
He's a victim of a flawed everything.
At least we're finally moving on from the whole marijuana thing.
Hopefully.
Well,
our state sure isn't.
Actually, weirdly enough, it is. So even here in Wyoming, they've gone to, people still get in trouble for it, but they're not throwing people in prison for marijuana, unless it's like a shit ton of marijuana. But like people who are just using it or, you know, smoking a joint here and there and getting busted with it, they usually just give them a fine and send them on their way. Especially if you're not a douchebag about it. If you're a dick to the cop, then the cop might, you know, arrest you. But just because you were being a dick. But if you're just like, yeah, man, I got some pot, whatever, it helps me sleep. And the cop's like, all right, well, here's a ticket. You know, don't do that no more.
I'll just turn around.
And then you go home and light up a joint, you know, but whatever. At least we're finally getting to that stage, even in a place that's been like, you know, staunchly against stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm not saying in the United States as a whole that there's not still places that will slap you with everything they can just because you had a joint in your pocket. But I'm saying it's getting better. Because I think people are starting to finally realize marijuana is probably the lesser of the two evils between alcohol and marijuana. I think alcohol is much worse, in my opinion.
Right.
People are willing to overlook alcohol, but not overlook marijuana.
Because alcohol's been socially acceptable for so long.
Right.
Shit, the only reason alcohol exists in the nature we see it now where it's so prevalent is because we had poisoned our water supply so much where the only way you could really drink water was coffee, tea, or alcohol. And alcohol was a lot easier to store. So.
Right. Yep. And then we realized that alcohol was good for, you know, other things.
God, I can't wait for Andor season 2, man. I'm so ready for April. I am and I'm not, because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people who still don't get it.
Right. That's okay.
Or we're going to get back to why are they making Star Wars political? Dog, it's always been political. Dude, that is like the
Star Wars has been nothing but political. Like, literally, half the shit happens in Star Wars because it's political.
Yeah, right. Like, it is just political. And Andor is definitely the most political you can get. Like, the entire point is politics. I mean, like, the synopsis for Star Wars has always been overthrowing a corrupt government. It's always been political, big dog. You're just stupid. That's all I got for you.
Right. What do they think politics is? Like, what do they think they're doing when Padme goes in front of a council?
They think that it's not politics as long as whatever's happening is something they agree with. But when the narrative that is being pushed is one that they don't love, one way or the other. Because Andor is pushing a narrative of fighting against an oppressive government, and it is really steering it towards like, hey, maybe you all should wake up, as in the people who are watching this, who are being oppressed by an oppressive government. And people
Right.
don't like that because, well, that's not possibly true. When it's like,
Mhm.
no, if you really break it down in every way, it so is. The amount of times I see on the internet of people from other countries asking, why hasn't America revolted yet? The rest of us have.
Right.
And we're just sitting here, I don't know, half of our country is just licking the boots of whatever politician they love. It's over, man. It's all over.
Right. Well, it's because the people have lost the power, and the politicians, the only thing they care about is the rich bureaucrats that's padding their pockets.
Yeah,
They don't give a shit about the people that they're supposed to represent.
for sure.
And they've made it so that we're too busy fighting amongst each other, and instead of focusing on the real issue, which is the fact that the government has taken the $10 worth of wealth in the United States, took took $9.50 of it, and let us fight amongst the other, 50 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the wealth.
I've found like a couple normal Lions fans, and it's weird. I'm sorry, this is a weird thing to bring up. I don't want to talk about actual football, but I just saw
Here we go.
a post. No, so Zadarius Smith, he used to play for the Packers, then the Vikings, then the Browns.
Mhm.
He got traded to the Lions this year. And somebody posted a picture of him and a picture of Aiden Hutchinson. And it's like, these two are going to tear up every offense in the NFL next year. I can't wait, man. And football YouTubers just like, I see Lions fans haven't figured out how the Zadarius Smith experience ends yet. Ha-ha. And a Lions fan's just like, I've heard we're in for a rude awakening. Not looking forward to it. It happens every time. He
Mhm.
got paid in Green Bay, had one season, got hurt. Green Bay's like, hey, man. And he goes, you know what? Fucking get me out of here. He goes to the Vikings, signs a contract, plays for a year, demands more money. The Vikings say no. He throws a tantrum. We trade him to the Browns. In Cleveland, he wants more money. He throws a tantrum. He gets traded. He's getting traded by next year at the deadline, man. That's just how this works. He's a psycho. He's a psycho. It's funny, but he's a psycho. Sorry, back
I guess
to...
he figures if he gets traded enough, maybe he'll land on a Super Bowl team.
Also, that's fair. A Vikings fan just posted a picture of the Rams-Bills game, and he's like, and we got clowned for losing to this team on a short week. I think everybody does forget about that. The Vikings lost to the Rams 4 days after playing the Lions. Like, this is not... That's not... It doesn't matter who you play on a Thursday. Thursday games ain't easy. Like, you haven't had... Just from what I remember, everybody talking about, and this was in fucking high school, nobody's body was recovered until fucking Thursday anyways after a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
You weren't feeling good again until Thursday. So in the NFL, it's probably even worse. You're probably not feeling good again until like Saturday. So, yeah. Ugh, it's goofy.
I think it's going to be a...
To be fair, wasn't that without Puka? No. They got Puka and Cooper Kupp back. You're actually all just stupid. I hate it. The internet hurts my soul. Sorry, go ahead now. I'm done.
I was about to say, the Rams offense is actually like really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
They've just been injured. Now they're getting healthy, and it's kind of scary. But what I was gonna say about it is it's gonna be I think it's gonna be the same fucking situation next week for the Bills against the Lions. It's gonna be two offenses fucking going nuts.
If the Bills lose again next week, I might go break both of Josh Allen's legs.
Good luck with that. People have tried.
I'll succeed. I'm angrier. I have one hope, and it's Josh Allen. And if he fails me, no more football for him. I'm going to take away his happiness the way he took away mine.
Yeah.
Fucking hear that, Josh? Win the fucking game. Bitch ass.
He will try his ever-loving best.
No, he's against the Lions. He's going to be old Josh Allen and just give it to the Lions every fucking play.
I mean, I hope not. He's kind of been playing out of his mind this year, so. He's been playing unlike Josh for the majority of the year.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know. I will say.
Yeah, I feel. Oh,
I'm starting to get fatigued on the old football idea now. So.
What do you mean?
Just, it's getting close to where I don't want to feel anxious and I don't want to care, but at the same time, I really care.
But
and
you
I'm really
still,
anxious.
yeah. Welcome to being a fan. It sucks. What
I want
we
to go back to
finally.
when I wasn't a fan.
I was gonna say we finally made Wonder a football fan. Now he lives in the same hell we do. Let's go.
Yeah, you guys fucking suck.
You're welcome.
Could let me out of your bullshit.
I love this. This post is my favorite. We need a slur for beginners in a hobby who already bought the most expensive gear. First off, we have one. It's called posers. But second off, true.
Right.
But also, to be fair, I don't know. Don't get mad at somebody who wants to take part in a hobby that bought the best gear to take part in that hobby. Like, who fucking cares?
Right. I mean, like, that's my thing. If I'm going to start something and I want to be good at it, I don't want to start with a disadvantage by having, shitty equipment. Like, oh, I want to learn how to rock climb, but I'm going to use a pickaxe that is broken on one side and has a crack down the shaft. Like,
Right.
Or I'm going to go rock climbing, so I'm going to use a rope that's frayed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why that was the analogy I came up with, but there it is. There it is. Take it or leave it.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I don't know. There's Dallas and Cincinnati playing tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason this game couldn't have been flexed was because the Simpsons are. You remember the Toy Story game last year, where the one game in London was like streamed on Disney Plus, and it was the Toy Story version, so it looked like Toy Story characters playing the game, and it was like perfect in real time. Like, it was incredible how good that was. They're doing that again, but it's the Simpsons this time instead.
Oh.
So they couldn't flex the game because all of the assets were built for the Cowboys-Bengals game. So even though both teams suck and they just suck. Yeah. I wonder if Logan Wilson's actually going to play today. He didn't last week, and I pretended that was the reason they lost to the Steelers. Well, because I don't think Logan Wilson would have been that dumb, and if he was, then I would call him out on it. The end of the Steelers game came in. It's 4th and 2. Justin Fields just ran on the field instead of Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. They're running a read option. Every single defender on the Bengals bit on the fake and went after the running back. Justin Fields ran for 10 yards. Game over. Dog, I knew why he was in the game. My dead grandma knew why he was in the game. Everybody in the stands, everybody at home knew why Justin Fields was in the game. They knew he was running the ball. So how the fuck did a professional defense not know why Justin Fields was in the game?
To be fair.
Nope.
To be fair.
Nope.
To be fair.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not fair. I'll tell you why, but just hit
It's
me with something.
exactly not what you're thinking. Your dead grandma knows who's going to win the Super Bowl, so
That's
that's not fair.
probably true. That's, you know what, that's fair. Or she doesn't. I don't know how any of this works after we die.
Me either, but I'm just assuming. They get insider information.
Well, it depends. Oh God. I mean, maybe if there's like an afterlife in that scenario, but what if it's just like reincarnation?
Oh.
What if that's how it goes? Then you
I
don't
don't
know nothing. Well, and then how does that work? Do you reincarnate to like the next day, or do you wait a couple hundred years, or like can you go back to the past? Like, what if I want to reincarnate as some dude in the Ice Age, or like, you know,
Right.
something prehistoric? I
Yeah.
want to come back as just some guy in Egypt while they're building the pyramids, you know?
See, this is what confuses me. If you could choose when to go back or when to reincarnate, why why the fuck would I choose to live in the time that we live in?
Okay.
Why would
so-
I not live in the time of discovery or in the time where we could actually go do something?
Dude,
or
I agree so much. We live in the worst time period ever, from the sense of like pre this, like if you were born any time in like pre 1950, you got to be part of like humans learning how to fly, and then the space race, and then all of this stuff. And then in a couple hundred years, there's going to be, you know, the actual space travel going out into the final frontier. And we're born at the time where none of that's an option.
Mhm. Right.
Or like, I want to go back even farther and be a pirate, just sail the 7 seas.
Mhm.
I want to learn that there are 7 seas. Imagine being the guy who discovered the 7th sea.
Yeah. And even if you do make a new discovery,
Nobody believes it because science is fake.
no,
Oh,
the government fucking murders you and then claims it for themselves.
or that.
And or hides it because it doesn't make them money.
Right. Well, and then there's like, so if we go back, I think me and Greg talked about this on the very first episode of this podcast. So we're throwing it back 251 weeks ago. That's a couple years, I think. Yeah. But
Like,
251 weeks ago, to the very first episode where we were talking about the and I've talked to Wonder about this before, so he's not going to have that many questions, but that one, I don't want to call him a hypnotherapist, but he was a therapist who could do the like he had this patient who was this guy who had this incredible pain in like his lower back.
Mhm.
And couldn't figure out what it was. He went to many doctors, had x-rays, had CAT scans, all this stuff. There was nothing physically wrong with him, but there was this terrible pain. So he went to this therapist who could like, his way of talking people through stuff was to like make them go back and like actually recall when stuff happened. Almost like a form of hypnotherapy, but just like through conversation, like just try to remember everything. So he did. And the guy was on a battlefield in like the Civil War and like recalled the battle perfectly, gave the therapist like his name, his unit rank, all of this stuff. And then the pain started because he took a bayonet right through that spot in his back. Therapist didn't believe it, but then he like looked up that guy, looked up everything. Turns out that exact guy died that exact way from that exact thing in that exact battle that dude was describing. And he's like, whoa, that's weird, right? So then there was another lady who went to this same therapist who just like strongly believed she did not belong here. There was nobody on this planet here that like her family wasn't here. Like that she wasn't supposed to be here. So he tried to do the like go back to when the pain started thing, and who knows? It could all be bullshit, right? All of it could be, but this is a fun thing to think about. And she basically like got to the point where she was explaining the like I don't know what to call it. So I'm gonna say the world between worlds because that's a fun way to put it, where everybody has like a soul family, and all we're doing is going out looking for knowledge. And she actually truly wasn't supposed to be here. She came back before she was supposed to. So none of her family is here. She's just stuck. And it's insane. But that's what I was doing with the why would I have picked this right now for knowledge.
Right.
For the knowledge of whatever it is. Just like when we die here, maybe we get to go pick and we go, yeah, that sucked. Let's go live like one of those rich assholes for a while. Do that, come back and be like, that was sick. Now let's go be one of those, you know, kids in Africa who dies really young of like malaria or whatever. And then you come back and, well, that sucked. Let's go do this. Let's go be one of, let's go be around during the building of the pyramids. Let's go help with the building of the Great Wall of China. Let's go forward to be one of the first people living on Mars, right? Like just getting to experience all that in a quest for knowledge. My question that always comes from this thought experiment, though, is like, okay, but who are we when we are just in our soul pods? Like, what are we, and how did that version of us get there then?
Right.
This doesn't actually answer a question for me. It causes just as many questions.
I was about to say, all it does is just open up more and more rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Like if you really go, you know, when it boils down to it, it's like I constantly try not to think about it, but sometimes I still do. Like, why are we here? What makes me and you? How does anything exist in the first place?
Right.
Like in my mind, how, you know, because people say, well, there was nothing, and then a lot of shit happened. Well, how do you make something out of nothing? According to science, that's impossible.
The Big Bang is like, for the Big Bang thought, there was nothing. It's not that there was nothing. It was all of the matter in the universe was so finely compressed into a singular point that it exploded out. Big Bang, heating, cooling, blah blah blah, evolution. Here we are. And like that's the theory with that's one of the theories for the way the universe could end, is it'll stretch itself out so far that it'll eventually snap back to a singular point, expand again, and just keep that cycle repeating.
Right.
So who knows?
But
maybe we're on the 12th cycle. Who knows?
My thing is even matter. Where did matter come from? How was it made? How does it exist? The things that drive me nuts, because I'll never even be able to come close to being able to wrap my mind around how things exist in the first place. Yeah. Like, no matter how you think about it, what theories you come up with, what science you know, you could be the smartest person on the face of the planet and still never be able to wrap your mind around these questions.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, well, this is what happened, and we know that's why it happened, you know. Okay, so why, what caused that in the first place? And then you go, okay, what caused that? Then what caused that, you know? Eventually, we run out of questions because there's no more answers. So,
but I don't know. Even if we, I don't know. Like if we die and reincarnation's a thing, we'll still never get the answer, because we'll just die and immediately wake up somewhere else. And if the soul family thing is real, maybe we do get that answer. Maybe that answer does exist. Maybe that's the point of all of that knowledge gaining, is to try to find the answer, but still that doesn't entirely make sense.
Right.
And I don't know if it's some form of religion. Shit, half the religions don't say how the nothing got there. But even if they do, okay, new question for Christianity. How the fuck did God get there?
Exactly. What made him?
Right. Like,
who? How did that come into existence? Because everything, you know, supposedly there was nothing, and then there was something.
Yeah. It's all goofy and confusing and terrifying.
This is why there's a part of me that says that superpowers, people say that that's fake and unreal and can't be. But like technically in my mind, we shouldn't be either. Like our existence, everything around us shouldn't exist either. But it does.
Right.
No one knows how or why. Maybe we're just a thought of energy or something. We're just a blip.
Right.
I don't know. And when we started this podcast, this is not where I thought we were going to go with it.
Where did you think we were going to go?
I don't know. Definitely not, the theory of relativity, apparently.
Well, so...
oh, yeah, I got a football game I got to play here in a second.
Tough.
Yeah, yeah, it is tough because I'm going to get my ass murdered again.
How about don't do that? That's simple.
Yeah, I wish it were that simple, dude.
It is. I just told you.
Well, what would the simplest fix would be if we have another year, I transfer and go to a different team. But I feel like that's a bitch move and that I'm abandoning my team, so whatever.
But I think, I don't know. It's all goofy and confusing, and I don't think we're ever meant to truly figure it out, but that sucks. Because the most likely and logical answer is that we'll never know, because it's impossible to know, and we will die, and consciousness wasn't a real thing, and we fade off into nothingness and never even know we were alive.
Right.
That is the most likely outcome. Because even a lot of religions believe that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't blame them because there's nothing to support otherwise.
Right.
You don't truly know until you die.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've all made deals with friends and family that if there is something, they try to tell us, and nobody ever does.
Right. Or if they're trying to, there's no way for us to,
or whatever.
know.
Well, we all, you come up with a plan on how it'll work, and that thing never happens. So that obviously means nothing happens, right? I don't know. It's tough and impossible to figure out. And then if one of those religions is right, I don't know. Hopefully whichever God exists is whatever the stories tell you about them.
Right.
Are they actually all good, or are they more closely related to what? Well, in some cases, I would hope that the God is more kind than what the book tells us they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've read much of the Bible, but the way God speaks about pagans is not very kind. God demanding that you, when a pagan woman is pregnant, you cut out the child and stomp on it on the ground, that's a real thing in the real Bible. Here, I think I have a couple others.
Well, my thing is people who began to be able to record history to where we could interpret it, get to hold the narrative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of that bothers me because you're literally just taking someone's word for it. We weren't there. We don't know what actually happened.
Right.
And even if you see things like with the whole Mandela thing, where millions of people remember it this way, but it actually never happened that way. You know, just because a lot of people seem to recall it, this is how it happened, it doesn't mean that's how it happened. That's
Right.
just how it perceived.
Well, and remember,
That's how it was remembered.
speaking of, how history is written, we do have to remember, though, I know a lot of people say that history is written by the victors, but if that were true, we wouldn't know all the atrocities the U.S. committed during World War II. We wouldn't
Right.
know all of the atrocities that other countries who have won wars committed in the wars they won. History is written by the survivors, and their view on things will always be different than even what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because their view is history cannot be written from a blank and unbiased perspective.
Exactly.
It will be biased by the experience of whoever is writing it.
Right.
So
On one side, it's glory and fame. The other side is, it was murder and despair, and these people were oppressors, and
yeah. What an episode this was.
I know.
I don't
Hey, at
think we're
least
done yet, but
at least we came up with something to talk about. I always like delving deep sometimes.
what is happening?
I don't know. CD Lamb got a touchdown though.
Yeah.
Oh. So I feel stupid. Is Dak Prescott like injured or not playing?
Yeah, he's been hurt all year.
Oh, okay. I apparently just missed that fact, which is weird because I've
How
been paying
Cooper Rush has
attention.
been playing for
I know. I just like I've even literally looked and seen on on my fantasies where it's like Cooper Rush throws to CD Lamb for a touchdown. And, like, it just never dawned on me that like, oh, Dak's hurt, and he got hurt a long time ago. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have a tendency to just overlook the Cowboys because I can't, take anything from them seriously. We're gonna win the Super Bowl, and we all know how that goes.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, that's every fan base every year.
Right, but
I know you're going to say, well, not me, but like, dog, we are just cynical. There's a difference.
Right. But these are that they take the claim of the American team.
Well, they were given that. I don't think they took it. America's team was given to them as much as I hate
they
it.
embraced it, okay?
So would you if your team was given that.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, he has a hamstring injury. I don't think he tore it, but he was initially diagnosed with a partial tendon avulsion, meaning the hamstring pulled part way off the bone.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like my brother did the same thing, except his pulled completely off the bone, took a chunk of the bone with it, and then tore in two.
Bro's got some weak ass bones. Tell him to drink some milk.
Well, yeah. He doesn't have the strongest bones in the world either.
Yeah.
He was a wrestler his entire life, so he like didn't eat to cut 20 pounds to wrestle in certain weight brackets.
Yeah.
That was not healthy for his body, and he's paying for it now.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
A normal human being doesn't tear both fucking hamstrings.
You have Disney Plus, right?
Yes, I do.
You should go. Now that we're about done here, make sure you turn on Disney Plus and go watch the Cowboys-Bengals game and the Simpsons version of it because it's fun. Homer Simpson is playing quarterback for the Cowboys, dog.
I'll probably get this football game played real fast and then watch the second.
You have 2 monitors.
Oh, that's true.
Dumb bitch.
I also have Disney Plus on my phone. So
that's 3 monitors.
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
8.
You got more money in that room than I have in my entire house.
I don't know if that's, well, maybe, because most of the stuff you spend money on is still at your parents' house.
True. I didn't say my parents' house. I said my house.
Well, no, I just meant you and where your money goes. Most of your money's outside.
No, I don't know.
The
Go in
truck.
my safe.
Well, I
I
know.
guarantee you I got more.
The safe is what I was referring to in the back at your parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. All right. We're not a full hour in, but we're 55 minutes in, and I think we've done all we can do.
And I still feel like it was a good episode, even though it was a short one. So
Yeah, I feel like it was all right. For sure.
it's aight.
He's
It's
aight.
aight.
He's aight.
It's aight. You know what I'm saying?
I'm watching the weirdest video using like a chain and some balls to remove the tiles out of the inside of a chimney. My question is, you got the tiles removed while the chimney's still up, but how do you retile it? Or is this like not actual tile and it's like just, no, it's actual tile. I don't know what's happening, but it's
I'm
very
confused what
satisfying.
kind of fucking chimney it is.
I don't know, this kind. Send via DM on Twitter.
Yep. All right, motherfucker. Now you got me
Well,
curious.
yeah, we're not ending yet. Yeah, how are they replaced? They just put the tool in reverse. Oh, usually once removed, a stainless/insulated liner is installed. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Now it makes more sense.
That does. After I read it, it makes a ton of sense. I don't know.
Okay.
What the fuck you think
tile
I know
thing was
about
throwing me
chimneys?
off.
Well, I don't know. That's what they called it. I don't know.
Technically it is a tile.
I read a tweet.
But
man.
In my mind, I'm thinking like olden style, like fucking brick chimneys.
Well, I mean, that is a brick chimney.
Well, I know, but
You can
it's got
see
a
once the
tile
tiles
sleeve.
are removed. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
It's a very satisfying video to watch. I can say that much.
It is. It is really.
What a time. Oh, look at this. Homer to CD for 6.
Another one?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, though. But maybe. No. Nope. Not yet.
Yeah. My sister's in New York right now.
Why?
For a work conference.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like at this fancy hotel thing. It's got like, they have like cocktail hour or whatever. And they got like these, proper waiters that walk around and hand you shit, and it's all free, paid for by the company. It's kind of cool looking.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I guess we'll end the episode. So thank you to everybody who came and hung out. It was fun. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below what you think happens when we die.
Yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, that's all we got. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, I guess without further ado, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.